So after nearly 3 months of building, Minas Tirith is finally finished and I couldn't be more excited. It looks fantastic and I'm really pleased. But the excitement doesn't stop there because I've got more plans for this and I'll touch upon those later in the video. But before we do, let's jump back in time to earlier this week and let's see where this started. Let's see how we got to here. And welcome back to the workbench on what is hopefully the final week of building Minas Tirith into Mill. Now, this is Sunday morning, I'm recording it. I've jumped straight in after finishing off the video for last week's update yesterday. So Saturday evening, I came in and I was so keen. I not only recorded the last segment, but I also then cracked on with the first bit of this week's update. So I'm right at it and I'm super keen to make this the last week. Now, right at the back, up on the top where the hallows are, I have now done the filler work for that area there, which now essentially completes all of the filler work. There is a tiny little bit more and I will come and explain that in just a moment. Now, this morning I've come in to the hobby room, I've had a look at the model and I've just had a re-evaluation of what I need to do before I can do the Mod Podge all over to seal everything and then get it ready for spraying. So here is the list of jobs. Obviously, I need to do some more buildings on the walls, on the wall here, on the lower level, and this one here. So that is pretty well understood. Looking at it and looking back at the model that I've been referring to through this whole project, I've realized that I put the buttresses, that's the word, on this lower level, and that looks really good. And it made me think, actually, the other levels look a bit bare, and so will this main wall here. So what I've decided to do is to add buttresses where I can onto the other levels to give that extra level of detail. So that's my second job to do. The other job, which we've been discussing now for the last couple of videos, including the live stream, is the towers and the main gate on the front wall. That shouldn't take long, and I'll do that in with the buildings for the walls. So that's sort of two jobs, but kind of one job. So anyway, that's the third job. And then the final and fourth job that I've got to do is to actually add a piece of card onto the back, and I will just spin it round to show you. So you might remember this from the first or second video. I built the structure up through layers of foam, and it's great and it really works. And I've noticed that I've still got the pins left in it. They would push right in, so I've just pulled them out to remind myself, but they are going to need to come out, obviously. And then I've decided that I'm going to put a piece of card on the back to cover this all up. Now, this is going to give me sort of this is going to do two effects. The first is to protect the back and the foam from unwanted damage, chippings and all of that. And that should just give me I don't need to coat this, it'll just be card. The second effect that I'm going to get is I'm going to make sure I'm using mounting card and one of the sides is black, which means that I'm going to get this lovely black finish on the back. It won't matter because it won't be in pictures, but it will just mean that when somebody's looking at the table from behind this, looking down into the battle as we are viewing it, they won't get this horrible look to the piece, which ultimately, if I put enough time and effort into the front piece to make it look really good, I don't want the back letting me down. Now this ties in with the filler comment that I made earlier. So when I put this piece of card here, it's going to leave a gap here between this piece of foam, the filler on the other side, and the card. I'm going to have to fill that in as well. But it's a small job. It shouldn't take long, and that will just tidy this up and get me ready to then coat the whole thing with Mod Podge. The other thing I should say is when I go to put the card on, although I'm going to probably make it one of my first tasks to trace around the outside onto a bit of card and then cut it out, that will probably then be left to be glued on until I've finished everything else. And the reason for that is that what I'll do is I'll put glue on here and then I will put it on its back, lying down on the card, and that will then use the weight of the model to then make sure that we've got a firm contact with the card and make sure that it's glued down well. So that's the 4 jobs that I'm hoping to achieve before Wednesday. In fact, actually, that's a lie. I'm hoping to achieve that in the next day or 2, absolute max Monday, because what I really want to do is put the Mod Podge on Monday and allow it to dry so that Tuesday I can spray this, which really means that today I need to get this all done so that tomorrow, Monday, I can do all the Mod Podge and then let that dry 24 hours and then come back and spray it on Tuesday. So lots to do. I'm going to stop waffling. This has hopefully been an informative introduction into the video, but I'm now going to crack on and get these jobs done. And welcome back. It's now Tuesday morning. I snuck a quick cheeky recording session in before work. This won't be long, but what I wanted to do was touch base before I get the next part of the jobs list done, which is the spraying. And I wanted to give you an idea of what it looked like prior to me priming it. Now, I very much managed to get everything done last night. I did get some done Sunday night as well, but last night was the big one. So I was up till about 10:30 last night getting the last bits done. So what have I done, I hear you ask? Well, it's quite a long list, so stand by. So first of all, I sanded the base, as you can see in front of you. It was quite a quick job, to be fair, and that didn't take very long. It does look darker on camera. It is dry. There are some patches that are a little darker just because I dropped some extra glue on them last night, so hopefully that's really sealed them around the wall area. I also managed to get, as you can see on screen, the towers around the wall. Originally, I was aiming to do just 4, and I actually have gone for 6 in the end, 3 on either side, and then I've done the gatehouse in the front. I've tried my best to make this look like the on-screen version. I appreciate Tolkien in his books may have described this slightly differently, but I've gone for Peter Jackson's style. And I think that probably best describe the whole of this project. I also ended up getting all of the extra buttresses on to the wall to give some extra detail and put the extra buildings on the walls along with the towers. So that is all done. No more buildings left to build. So that is 3 of the jobs. I had 2 more. One was to put the back onto this. So what I've done is I've mounted a piece of card. This is mounting board. And I'll just spin this around and show you. Try not to knock the camera at the same time. So I've put a piece of card on the back and glued it on, and then that has essentially evened up the back. Now in places it is absolutely in contact with the foam. In other places there is actually polyfiller or just filler in between the card and the foam, just giving it a really solid back. But I think when you're looking at the table from this angle, it'll just be better than looking at all those different layers of foam which weren't flat and just looked a little bit unruly. So the other aspect then that I needed to finish up was the filler, and I'll just give you a side profile here. You can now see the filler goes all the way to the card. And actually from this angle that card doesn't look straight, it looks a little bit twisted, but not a problem. But the filler looks really good and it goes all the way to the bottom, as you can see just there. So that's all the mountains done. and it's ready essentially to move forward. However, there was just one last job I needed to complete, and I managed to get this done, as I say, really late last night. Excuse me, and that was to put a layer of Mod Podge over the whole thing. Now, um, my intention was to go over the whole thing. I've actually only done all of the foam part, so all of the filler bit. I'm assuming that that is properly sealed. I've got good coverage on that, and there's no foam exposed. However, all of the exposed foam, so all of the walls, the buildings, the towers, and the tombs at the top, all of that has had a layer of Mod Podge on it, and hopefully that's going to allow me this afternoon, once it stopped raining. Of course, I was going to get it sprayed this morning, and the rain has come. Typical, the only rain we've seen in a few weeks now. But nevertheless, there is some forecast dry patches this afternoon. So once I've finished with work, I'll come back, I'll get this sprayed, and then leave it to dry overnight, and through to the live stream tomorrow. So lots and lots of progress over the last couple of days. Apologies for not cutting in and showing you as I was working on it, but I just wanted to keep my head down and just keep ploughing through. So here is the last look before we prime it up. And this is Minas Tirith before paint. So I'm going to go off. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to come back. I'm going to spray this, and then I will see. The next clip will be just before the live stream. So I'll see you in a flash. So welcome back after Tuesday evening. It's now Wednesday. We're just prior to joining the live stream for tonight. And I thought I would just jump on and show you where I got to. So this is Minas Tirith. I don't think you can really pick up on camera at the moment, but there was some issues with the spraying. It went relatively well for the most part, but there were some spots where clearly I didn't do a good enough job doing the Mod Podge sealant, and therefore we have had the foam being eaten away by the whatever it is in the spray that does it. So unfortunately, there is some damage to it. However, for the most part, I think we've got away with it. And it may well be that add a bit of flock here and there, we could probably get away with it. There will be places where I'll need to add some paint just to make sure that any damage is covered up. But most of it you won't see because of the height of the walls. And you're going to be focusing mostly on the battle. The fact that this is as big and as impressive as it is just another point. So anyway, I'm going to now get ready for the live stream, where hopefully it'll be a case of finish up painting the bits that have got eaten away, so that they are covered up, and then some dry brushing. Don't know whether I'll get to the rock work tonight. I'm going to use some ink washes for that, but we'll see how far we get. So I'll come back probably Thursday evening with another update post live stream, and then getting some more work done. As I say, I'm hoping to get this done this week. So race is on to see if we can get this painted up and flocked in time. So without further ado, I'm going to get into it, and I'll be back in a flash. And welcome back after the live stream. So we're now on Thursday evening this week, and as you can see, I have made quite some progress on the painting front. We've got all of the ground cover painted brown. I've even done the bit at the top. There is a little bit at the back that I still need to do where the Hallows is, but I think I'm going to do that just after I finish recording this clip. I have managed to get a lot. I did start a little bit of dry brushing on the walls, as you can see at the front, but I'm going to go back and do some more work on them now that I've got a sort of the dry brush that I'm using, or I've just used for the mountains. This one is actually working a lot better than my other one, so I'm going to continue with that. Now, the rock work during the live stream I've focused on predominantly, and I use some Citadel ink washes, the Noon Oil, the Reichland Flesh Shade. I use that one as well. a little bit of Agrax shade in there as well, and then the Beal Tan green as well I used. But hopefully you can see on camera there's some really nice different tones there. And then I've just gone over with a light grey dry brush. So I'm going to turn it slightly so you can have a look and really get a sense of how the rock work has come out. I'm really, really impressed with it. And what I'm hoping is the grey of the buildings and the walls, all of that is going to get a dry brush with an off-white. So it's going to be a lot brighter than it. And then on top of that, with the brown of the landscape and the greens that I'm going to use in terms of the sort of flock, hopefully that will just make it all pop. So I'm going to spend just a few minutes more after filming this, as I say, to put the brown on this top bit here, getting that ready for tomorrow, where I'll probably dry brush all of the sort of brown soil areas, and then what I'll probably do then Saturday is to dry brush all of the buildings. Once all of that is done, then I will be moving on to adding the flock, and then we'll be done, ready for releasing the video on Sunday. So I'm really, really excited. I think we're making some really, really good progress, and hopefully you'll be agreeing with me as you're watching this. So anyway, I'm going to jump back into it, get the brown painting done, and then I'll be back very shortly with tomorrow's clip. So here we are with the finished Minas Tirith. I am absolutely over the moon with not only finishing this short of the 3 months, which I'm really pleased about, but I'm also just really pleased with how it came out. Now, when you look really close, maybe the detail's not quite there, but I think further back, when you're looking at this from a table, this is going to look cool. People are going to be able to recognize it straight away as to what it is and what it's supposed to be. And that, for me, is the big win. Now, if we have a look at the model on the right, as you look at it, this is the one that my friend Phil lent me to use as a sort of a template. And I have to say, it does just look like a scaled up version of it. Obviously, I think there's probably a little bit more detail, but obviously the resin cast version on the right is crafted by some very expert people. But I have to say, considering I've just used foam, there's been no 3D printing whatsoever, this absolutely looks the part. And I have to say, the ground cover, the use of flock on it, has just lifted it that extra bit. And I think the lighter dry brush on the buildings and the infrastructure versus the darker tones on the rockwork give it that really nice contrast where it really does feel like one is a natural bit of earth and the other is a very man-made structure into the rockwork. So I'm really, really pleased. I just can't get over how good it is. And I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet. I think I probably really had a low expectation of what I could achieve. Obviously, when I did Helm's Deep, that turned out really well. I was really impressed with how well I managed to do with that, but that was a significantly smaller project than this. This is a much, much bigger beast, but the techniques that I've used, I think, on this have been so much better than what I did on Helm's Deep, and I've really learned a lot through that project, which ultimately is what I'm after, to learn from what I've done before and to get better. Now, in terms of what's next for Minas Tirith, I am absolutely going to get this on the table. I'm going to get my armies out for the Battle of Pelennor Fields, and I am going to have some games of Strength of Honor. I will probably rope Mark while he's on summer holiday to have a few games with me, because my ambition, and I've sort of jumped in the deep end, I volunteered to run a game of 2 mil Lord of the Rings using Strength of Honor at a Lardy Day that Mark is organising in January. Now, I don't know how public that is, so please don't go rushing and messaging him saying, "Oh, can I get involved?" Obviously, if if that word comes out, then great, fantastic, go for it. If you are interested and you want to know, then do comment below, and I'm more than happy to speak to Mark and see if we can fit some people in. It is going to be taking place in Hampshire, in the UK. So if you are local enough, you think you'd like to attend, then do comment below, and I can ask the question, and we can see if we can get people there as well. It will be good, but that will probably be the first public showing, other than maybe the club, where I'll take Minas Tirith out and show her off. But yeah, I'm really, really pleased with how well this has come out. I'm sure this is now really reaching onto a long video, but it is the finale, and I just felt that it was really worthwhile doing justice to this last week. It's been a really busy week to get from where we were to where we are now. I've had to work really hard this week and last week, but I'm really glad I did put in that really hard amount of work over the last 2 weeks, because I'm just really pleased to see it done. So that brings the Minas Tirith project to a close. We will at some point get a battle report with footage of the Battle of Pelennor Fields using Strength and Honor, so I will do that at some point, maybe even over the summer, if Mark has the time. Now, in terms of what's coming up next on the channel, you'll be pleased to know we're going to be heading away from Lord of the Rings, and we'll be doing some different projects. I'm going to be working on my 20mm German Fallschirmjäger, and trying to finish off that platoon, and then we'll see where we go from that. It might be a mass 8th Army kind of painting spree to get some British ready for Crete. Or it might be something completely different, not sure yet. On next Wednesday, the live stream will be back once again, and this time we'll be having a bit of a paint hangout session. So if you're interested, do drop by Wednesday, 8 p.m. UK time. And on Sunday, I'll be back with another video, and this time something completely different. So check out that video next Sunday at 6 p.m. UK time to find out what's up next on the table. So thank you to everybody who has supported the channel and myself during this project and beyond. I really, really appreciate your support, and it does give me the enthusiasm to do projects like this, possibly the smallest model of Minas Tirith on YouTube. So until next time, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.